Conservative commentator Ben Shapiro isn't buying Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's story after she and the president got into it on social media over the weekend.
Now, Shapiro criticized Greene's recent media blitz, speaking out against fellow Republicans, arguing that the mainstream media was embracing her now that she's turned on Trump. Take a listen.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has been attempting to run essentially her own knockoff version, her Temu version of MAGA. She's been out retailing it to The View. She's been out retailing it to CNN and MSNBC. You know, the Jewish space lady. That lady is the hot new thing with regard to legacy media. They now have strange new respect for Marjorie Taylor Greene because she has decided that she is going to attack Trump full time.
Shapiro went on to attack MTG for allegedly spreading conspiracy theories that Epstein was tied to Israeli intelligence. I'm not sure that's a conspiracy theory, and that Trump's loyalty to Israel is the reason the administration has been so slow to release the files. Take a look.
She's just putting that out there. No evidence whatsoever because she doesn't like Israel and also because she has some peculiar views, shall we say, about Jews. The reason why they're focused on Epstein. Okay, let's be clear about this. It is not because of Epstein. The Epstein files have been out there. They've been in the possession. None of these people were screaming bloody murder about the Epstein files when Joe Biden was president of the United States. President Trump comes on the scene, doesn't do the foreign policy they want, and suddenly they start screaming at the top of their lungs about the Epstein files.
Meanwhile, the House is expected to meet today to vote on a bill that would force the DOJ to release the Epstein files. Over the weekend, President Trump posted on social media urging representatives to vote for the bill despite months-long effort to block the release of the files. And Trump even took it a step further yesterday.
I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much because, honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. And I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time.
Now, despite that, the outlook for the bill in the Senate is unclear. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has not indicated if he would even bring the bill to the floor for a vote if it passes the House. This was a 180 that I saw while I was traveling, obviously on the tail end. But, for the president to finally just say, let's release the files, it's kind of just like, what took so long? Like, what will be the point? And then if you waited this long, obviously people are going to have raised an eyebrow to say, well, why did you wait this long when half of your party was calling for this to begin with? And then now you say because Democrats jumped on board, then it became a hoax. But we had victims and survivors at the Capitol pleading their case. And then everyone understands that Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted felon. People still want information beyond that 30,000 pages of documents that's been released. Right. They want the Treasury files and everything that the Department of Justice has access to. Also, the fact that President Trump could greenlight the Department of Justice releasing many more files without putting this whole thing through the Senate and the House. But he doesn't want to take that route for some reason. So people are confused.
You say for some reason. What he said is that he doesn't want people whose names are in the files because they were witnesses or they were sources for intelligence, for investigators, to be smeared as guilt by association, to have their names put out there. That's what Trump has said, because this Epstein issue has become so partisan, and so, you see how these emails came out. A couple of them came out. Trump is not sending the emails. They're emails about Trump. And be like, oh, this proves that he had sex with Bill Clinton or whatever.
Well, they said Bubba is not actually Bill Clinton now. That's the latest
Bubba
update.
now?
They said Bubba was someone else. That's according to.
We don't know. It's selectively released emails that we're trying to parse for context. You see exactly why people will never be satisfied, and people are just trying to project bad, immoral, sexual behavior onto their enemies. That is what is going on. Like Trump says, it's all Democrats. Obviously, that's not true. Trump was friends with Epstein too 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It doesn't matter now. There's no evidence of wrongdoing, and I agree with him that we should try to move on once we have that information. And a lot of information is already out there. I don't know if it's on the Israel. So Ben Shapiro is mad at MTG first. MTG's been very principled on this. Some of Ben Shapiro, his commentary there seemed designed to protect Israel. Yes, it's true we've not been shown definitive evidence that Epstein was an intelligence asset for Israel or some other foreign government, but Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a British politician who is rumored to have been like a triple spy, like working for the Brits, the Soviets, and the Israelis. So there is like a connection. It's never been borne out past that, but it's not a conspiracy theory to think that this is the reason he was protected.
Yeah, I think with Ben Shapiro, that I agree with that stance, but also I do agree with the fact that now the same people that were critical of Marjorie Taylor Greene are giving her like this ultimate pass to continue to come on and have dialogue without fully challenging her about a variety of things. They did a little bit on The View, but also like if you...
She's been challenged.
I mean, I think if they've been so critical of her for about 2 years straight now, consistently, I mean, to have her come on and be like, wow, you're saving the party. I mean, nothing that she's saying really aligns with where the Republicans are at. I mean, she's speaking out and kind of on her own and now getting completely isolated by the president. But that doesn't mean like a shared enemy, let's say, doesn't become a friend. Like, let's talk through some of these issues, because she's still obviously saying she doesn't agree with a lot of the ways that the Democrats are moving around, and she would never be a Democrat. So like, it's not like they're just welcoming her into the party, but I do think that they're just embracing her like some hero, when it's like, well, there's a right and a wrong way. Like, she sat down and met with and seen survivors, and maybe as a woman, her, Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, who actually was a victim of sexual assault, saying, we're not going to take our names away from this bill, and we want to keep moving or from this discharge petition. And then you have the president kind of threatening these people at the same time,
Nancy
saying,
Mace
if you go
has
against
alleged
this.
she's a victim of all sorts
Well, she alleges.
She walks around
I'm
being
keen to
victimized by everyone.
I'm keen to not dismiss her story unless I have the full context. And she said she's a sexual assault survivor.
Well.
But I think, even the beef between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump got remarkably like stiff in the last few days and uncomfortable. And it's like, why? Because is Epstein the biggest issue here? Or is it just because she said that she wants her district to have affordable health care? It seems very attacked and poignant. And even with Thomas Massie, he specifically is coming at the people who have brought up Epstein very religiously, and now coming at Thomas Massie for getting remarried after his wife passed away. It's disgusting rhetoric.
That was very cruel.
It's kind of like, well, why are you going this far over Epstein?
Yeah, it was terrible.
And so I think that that's something to be looked at, and why people are concerned with the president's response to this, when Thomas Massie is simply just following through on what he thinks is a
I know
good
Thomas
job.
Massie a little bit. He was devastated by his wife's sudden death, and he met someone, fell in love, got remarried. Good for him. Happy for him. I think it was vicious to try to smear him over that, as some of the Trump ally people are doing. We have to move on, so we probably don't have time for a larger conversation. But I don't take like the Me Too view that we should just believe every story that everyone says, right? You can show respect to people who claim to be victims of something, and you shouldn't dismiss them. And maybe we were too cavalier about just dismissing the claims of women or disadvantaged groups over time. I think we overcorrected for that a little bit during the Me Too era, and I like, people make sensation. It's not that women are liars or something, it's that everyone is a liar. Like, people lie, people misremember things, people exaggerate their amount of injury or grievance. So I don't.
But even if you're not
Especially
supporting
there were millions
Massie,
of dollars at stake for
but
some of
if
these
you're not
Epstein
supporting
victims.
Massie, if you're not supporting Massie because for anything else, just support him because it'll go on your record that you went against releasing the Epstein files. So when President Trump is no longer in office, that's a stain you have to live with as you continue to have a leadership role in our government.
Right, I agree with that. But some of these victims got millions and millions and millions of dollars in settlements. So there's, when millions of dollars are at stake, people do lie or exaggerate all the time. So I have to be a little bit more scrutinizing of that, I think.
Next up, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro started singing Imagine as he was discussing tensions with the U.S. Don't go anywhere.